So these are the 7 verses of Suratul Baqarah, starting from verse 40 until 46. And it is something new here in the beginning of the Quran. The day before yesterday, there was a one verse of the Quran which started with Ya ayyuhan nasu u'budu rabbakum alladhi khalaqakum. When Allah is speaking to the mankind. So in Quran, there are different addresses when Allah is speaking to certain people. But when Allah talks to whole mankind, it is complete. But this verse 40 of Suratul Baqarah, Allah is addressing only to Bani Israel. Ya Bani Israel. Oh, children of Israel. There was an installer coming here to install the carpet, and I gave him the Quran. And he told me, can I have it? I said, yes, why not? He said, some Muslim told me you cannot have the Quran because you are not Muslim. I said, Subhanallah, who is this Muslim is telling you that you cannot have the Quran? It is very wrong. It is very bad that they are not allowing you to access to the Quran, because Allah is speaking to the Quran, Ya Bani Adam, O children of Adam. And Allah is speaking in the Quran, Ya Ayyuhan Nas, O people, O mankind. And Allah is even speaking in the Quran to Ya Bani Israel, or children of Israel, or the tribes of Israel. And there are many times Allah is speaking to the believers, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, O you who believe. Now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is here in the verse number 40, Allah is talking with Bani Israel. It's very surprising. You know, when the Muslim world today, you say Israel, people angry to you. They say, who is it? Why you talk Israel? Everybody agree with Israel. And they even doesn't know that what's the name Israel belongs to. We are not talking about the injustice of the Israel on Palestine. It is different thing. But you must know the word Israel. You cannot say any bad word to word Israel. The name Israel. Do you know the name Israel? Whose name is Israel? Anybody knows here? Whose name is Israel? Whose name was Israel? Do you know this? Israel. Whose name is Israel? No. Son of Adam, we are all son of Adam. But who was Israel? Those people online, they can answer it through the WhatsApp, through the Facebook. Do you know Israel? Whose name was Israel? He's a person. The name of a person. A child of Prophet Ishaq. The son of Bani Ishaq. Son of Prophet Ishaq, name is Israel. Real name was Yaqub. The real name was Yaqub. But Allah gave him the name Israel. Allah gave him the name Israel. And Israel meaning a person who travel at night. Isra means is travel. Isra like Suratul Isra in Quran. Almost in the middle of the Quran. Isra means travel, and Israel means is a person who travel at night. A person who travel at night. Subhanalladhi asra bi abdihi layna min al-masjid al-rami. Subhanalladhi asra bi abdihi layna min al-masjid al-rami ila al-masjid al-aqsa alladhi baraknahu lahu lirurihi min ayatina. Place is he who bring his slave, Prophet Muhammad, to travel Isra, at night travel. Isra means a night travel. Sir means is secret. So Isra means is a secret travel or a night travel, in the night travel. The Israel is the name of a prophet, and people are saying bad word to Israel. Unknowingly that they are speaking bad word to a prophet. Any prophet you speak bad word is blasphemy. You are not Muslim anymore. If somebody say bad word to Jesus Christ or Isa al-Masih, you are not Muslim anymore. If you say bad word to Prophet Musa, you are not a Muslim anymore. If you say bad word to Prophet Muhammad or Prophet Noah, Prophet Adam, you are out of Islam. You are not Muslim anymore. You become kafir. And lots of people in the Muslim world, they doesn't know the name Israel. It's the name of the prophet. And they are saying bad word to Israel. You know, subhanallah, when you go to the many Muslim country, they write the Israel on the feet, on the road, the flag, they write the Israel, and they are standing on that name Israel. I saw with my own eyes. Then I write the name and they're insulting the name Israel. They even don't know the name Israel is the name of a prophet. And it's not an ordinary prophet. You know who is this prophet? You know who is the prophet Yaqub? He is the grandson of Prophet Ibrahim. Prophet Ibrahim is a prophet. His son Prophet Ishaq is the prophet. His son, his grandson Prophet Yaqub is the prophet. And the son of the Prophet Yaqub, the Yusuf, he's also prophet. So 4th generation prophet. Can you imagine this? The Karim, son of Karim, son of Karim and the son of Karim, the one who Allah blessed, and his son was blessed, and his son was blessed, and his son was blessed. Means the Prophet Ibrahim, his son was Prophet Isaac, and then his son was Prophet Yaqub, whose name was Israel, and then the son of the Prophet Yaqub was Yusuf. And do you know how many sons of Prophet Yaqub? Anybody answer here? The Ustad said 11, yes. 11 you. Anybody else can answer? How many sons of Prophet Yaqub? Nobody knows? It's not 11, it's 12. That's why it become 12 tribes of Israel. The Prophet Yaqub, or the Israel, he has the 12 sons. And those 12 sons become the 12 tribes of Bani Israel, or the Israelites. So these 12 tribes were honored, blessed, and there were so many prophets come inside among them. These 12 tribes, the eldest son was Yehuda, where the name came from Yehudis, or Judaism. So one of the eldest son of Bani Israel, the children of Israel, the one eldest son was Yehuda. They called it in English Judah, so their religion come from Judaism. But in Hebrew it's called Yehuda, so the Yehudi religion comes from Yehuda. Yehuda, the eldest son of Prophet Yaqub, who was among the conspiracy against Prophet Yusuf to murder him. But they're not able to murder him, the 10 sons, the 10 brothers. They just throw him in the deep well, and then the caravan came from Egypt and took him to Egypt, and then he was living in a palace with Aziz Misr, and then finally he was grown up there, and he became a mighty, powerful man in Egypt, Misr, the Prophet Yusuf. Now, Bani Israel is a very special tribe, very honorable tribe in the time, but they always proven to be wronged. They always misguided, and they always disobedient to Allah in the history, and Allah always punished them. For example, how they were able to reach to Egypt, it's another very beautiful story. The Bani Israel, the Prophet Yaqub was grown up in Jerusalem. His children was grown up in Jerusalem, sorry. He came from the Babylon, Prophet Yaqub, and then his children were grown up in Jerusalem because they migrated. The Prophet Yaqub, he migrated with his children, with his family to Jerusalem from Babylon. Because Prophet Ibrahim was born in Babylon. He was preaching in Babylon, the Babel, the city mentioned in the Quran, Babel, Babil, Harut, or Marut. So this is the oldest city according to the geologists or geological scientists. The oldest city in the world known by the human being is Babel, or they call it Babylon in English. But that Babel city, the place is in Iraq now. It's a part of the Iraq. And that is the oldest known city in the human being today, in the human history, the Babylon. And the Prophet Ibrahim was from Babylon. And then he got a wife. First wife is Sarah. She was Egyptian, might be Egyptian woman or somewhere else. And then he got the second wife, Hagar or Hajra. And from him he get the first son, Ismail. So Bani Ismail, grown up in Makkah, because Prophet Ibrahim, by the command of Allah, he bring his wife Hajar or Hagar and the son Ismail in Makkah, and he left them there. So Ismail, the Prophet Ismail, he grew up in Makkah, and then he got the Bani Ismail, and from Bani Ismail, the Prophet Muhammad was born. Now the children of Ismail and the children of Ishaq, Israel, they are like cousins actually. That's why I always emphasize that the Prophet Isa or Jesus and the Prophet Muhammad in relation they are cousin. They are cousin because they are from the two sons of Prophet Adam. The Prophet Muhammad from Bani Ismail, and the Prophet Jesus or Isa al-Masih, he is from Bani Israel or father Ishaq. So Ishaq and Ismail were the sons of Ibrahim. So their generation are cousin generation. They are not just cousin by in person, but they are cousin in generation. So Prophet Isa and Prophet Muhammad, they are historically cousins. Even though the difference between the ages is 600 years, but they are from the cousin generation. Why? Because Ismail and Ishaq. Prophet Muhammad from generation of Ismail, son of Prophet Ibrahim, and the Prophet Jesus is from the generation of Prophet Isa, who is also son of Prophet Ibrahim. But very well known is Bani Israel, not Bani Ishaq, but Bani Israel, because of his honor from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And his name was Yaqub, actual name. And his father is also a very historical person, Isaac, because Prophet Ibrahim got the son from Ismail, Hagar, the Ismail, but his wife Sarah was not getting pregnant. And then angel came to give or going to Prophet Lut, because these Prophet Lut people were Sodom and Gomorrah, the homosexual people, and Allah wanted to send the punishment on them. But they passed by to Prophet Ibrahim, and Prophet Ibrahim present them a meal, the feast, party, with one whole cow, and they were not eating. And the Prophet Ibrahim was afraid that who are these people, what is their intention? Why they are not eating? Why are they angry with me? And then the angels, the three angels, include the angel Jibreel, he told to Prophet Ibrahim that we are going towards people of the Lot, at the Qawm Lot, because we are going to destroy them because they are exceeding the limits made by Allah. They are disobedient to Allah. We are going to destroy them. And that time they give the good news. The angels give the good news. Prophet Ibrahim was very old and his wife was barren, who cannot give birth. But Allah made the miracle that time. And the angel said that you are going to have a child. Because he has a son from Hagar, Hajra, the Ismail, but from Sarah he had no son. This was his first wife. And he wanted a son from her. So Allah listened to his dua, then they were given the news that the Sarah is going to have a child. And then Sarah, she laughed. She laughed. The laugh means in Arabic is zahak. But in Hebrew, the zahak, laugh meaning is ishaq, sahak. Sahak means his laugh. So the name was of the child was Ishaq, because they laughed. And why she was laughing? That how is possible that she is barren, she's a woman with a sickness who cannot give birth. And then she said, my husband is very old, white hair. How is, and then that was the will of Allah, that to give the child to Prophet Ibrahim through Sarah. So she got pregnant and then she got the child. And that Ishaq has a son, name is Yaqub. And then he was given the laqab, or good name from Allah, the nickname, Israel. So that is a very good history of the Israel name. Now, they born in Babylon, and from Babylon, how they come to Egypt? How they come to Egypt? Because when the Prophet Musa was the prophet, he wanted to bring the Bani Israel out of Egypt. Because he was telling to Pharaoh, let Bani Israel to go with me. And he was telling to Pharaoh to believe in one God. And Pharaoh was denying, because he was calling, I am the God. He was saying, Ana Rabbukum al-Ala. I am your Lord, the Most High. So Prophet Musa alayhi salam, Prophet Moses, he want to bring out Bani Israel from Egypt. So how they reach to Egypt? That's a beautiful story, that the Prophet Israel or Prophet Yaqub has a son, Yusuf. He was very beloved to his father. And the 10 sons were jealous. Why 12? Because the Yusuf and his youngest son, Binyamin, they are from one mother. So you forget Binyamin. You said 11. It's not 11. They are 12. So Yusuf and Binyamin, they are from one mother. And the other 10 children were from another 3 mothers. So Prophet Yaqub has 4 wives. And from the 4 wives, he got 12 sons. And those 12 sons, the 10 sons from 3 mothers, they were very jealous with Yusuf. Why? Because Prophet Yaqub was loving him too much. Because of his hikmah, because of his knowledge, because of his beauty also. Because Prophet Yusuf was very handsome, very good looking, and very knowledgeable and too much wise. And he has some good dreams. And in the dream, he saw the sun and moon and the 11 stars honoring him. And that the interpretation of that dream, that he's going to be a mighty person. And his brothers and his parents will be under him in his rule, in his power. Then when the 10 brothers were jealous, and they finally make plan to bring the Yusuf and to kill him. But one among the 10 was good person. His name was Lavi. He said, don't kill him. We can just put him in a wheel and some caravan will bring him to somewhere far from us, then the father will love us. And there is no more Yusuf. So that is how a words kind of hasad, it's the attitude of shaitan to jealous with others. We as a Muslim, we should not jealous to people. So jealousy was brought them until they wanted to kill their own brother because of jealousy. Today people jealous, why he has more money, I have less money. He has millions, I don't have even a 1 million. And I don't have nothing. And he has lots of money and he has lots of houses and properties. You don't need to jealous for this. Because when you're jealous, you burn your heart and you lost your good deeds. You become deedless. Your good deeds is going to be vanished. But Prophet Musa said, jealousy can burn the wood, same way the fire burned the wood. The fire burned the wood very fast. The jealousness can burn your good deeds. So don't jealous. Look at the people who are below you. The Prophet said, don't look the people who are above you, but look the people who are below you. No, Shakespeare, he's a very good person. For me, he was a Muslim. He should be a Muslim. Maybe he did not, he might not expose his Iman, Islam, but internally he was a Muslim because his speaking is like a Muslim. Like he fight against a riba, interest. He wrote the book, Merchant of Venice, it's against interest. He said the interest is prohibited. But today the Muslims are doing interest business. Islamic bankings are same as interest business. They change the name only. Stock exchange and everywhere you go, installment business in all Pakistan, in all Muslim world, they are all interest business. They are charging the interest. Islamic bankings are not selling anything. They are financing and they get the interest rate from the State Bank. And State Bank get the interest rate from the World Bank. So it's a system of riba, and riba is that worse sin. Allah said the announcement of war from Allah and His Messenger. You are making war with Allah's Messenger when you are dealing in riba. Now the Shakespeare said a story that a man was praying to God for the sleeper. And then suddenly he see another man, no legs. What is it? The man was asking for God to give me sleeper. I don't have sleeper. And then he said he looked another man without legs. So what do you feel now? Allah, I don't need sleeper anymore. At least you give me the legs. I am thankful for this. The Prophet Muhammad said, the hadith, if you have the one day of the food and you have a good house and peaceful house, you have all the world with you now. Just one day food you have, and you have a good house where you are living safely, and you have only food for one day. Next day, one day only food. The Prophet Muhammad said, you have all world with you. Be happy. That is how the Islam teach us to content with Allah. Not to look at the people who are above you, look at the people who are below you. There are millions of people dying with hunger. They die with hunger. 25, 30 million people died every year just for hunger. We should thank Allah for the blessings. You should thank Allah. Even though you are very poor, but you are eating, say Alhamdulillah. And then the Bani Israel Yusuf was brought to the Egypt with the caravan because they get him in the deep well. And then when he was in Egypt, he started to learn politics, he started to learn good things, the knowledge, how to fight, how to learn knowledge. He learned the Egyptian language. And then when he grew big, the wife of the Aziz Misr, the Prime Minister of Egypt, the mighty man in Egypt, next to the king, his wife tried to seduce him, but he was an honorable person. He refused to do any wrong with her. And then she and the other woman who wanted to do bad with him, to do some relation with him, they put him in the jail. And he stayed in the jail. And when the king was dreaming, there are 7 fat cows are eating the 17 cows. 17 cows are eating the 7 fat cows. And there are 7 stems of the dry corn, and the 7 are the green corn, the green grains. And then interpreted there will be 7 days of famine coming to Egypt. So you have to stock the wheat for your future. And that's the way the Egypt was saved from the drought, the calamity, because of the dream was interpreted by Prophet Yusuf. But when he gave the dream and the interpretation looks good, the king of Egypt called him, and then he clarified his name, that he was wrong, not wrong, but the women were wrong, who make the conspiracy against him to put him in the jail. And then later the king make him something like a finance minister, treasurer. The king make him the treasurer in the Egypt. And later he take the place of Aziz Misa, his adopted father, who adopted him. He take his place. He become the Aziz Misr. And during that time, his brothers were coming to look for the wheat because they have a famine in their place. No rain and no water and no wheat, no food. So they were coming, and that time, he said, you bring your other brother, the youngest brother, next time. And when they brought him, then he make the trick to keep his brother because he afraid that they might also try to kill it, the Binyamin, the youngest brother. And then he wrote it to bring his father and mother, and then they came, and then he exposed himself that he is the Yusuf, and he forgave his brothers. Imagine that the 40 years he was separated from his family, from his father. And then the moment when he takes the revenge, he said, La tasriba alaykum al-yawm. And the Prophet Musa, when he was tortured in Makkah, when he take the Makkah, for the Makkah, victorious, he can take revenge from the people of Makkah. He said, I will say to you the same the Prophet Yusuf said to his brothers, La tasriba alaykum al-yawm. No blame upon you today. Forgiven everywhere. Even the Washi, the Ethiopian, the African, who killed his uncle, and the Hinda who hired Washi to kill the uncle Hamza, and Hamza was like a father to Prophet Muhammad, very beloved. And even Hind, she took out the liver or the heart of the Hamza and she chewed it. And the Fatah Makkah, Prophet Muhammad forgive them both. He forgave Washi, the African, and he forgave Hinda, the wife of Abu Sufyan. But he used to tell to Washi, when I am in the masjid and I am giving some sermon, don't sit in front of me. Sit on right or left. Don't sit in front of me. Because if I see you, I remember my uncle, that you killed him. So that is how the Prophet Muhammad's heart was. He was a forgiving person. He forgives everything to the people. So when he bring his father Israel, Yaqub, Prophet Yaqub, and his brothers, now the 12 brothers are there in Egypt. And they were, that the way they were in Bani Israel. And then they were in power because Yusuf is a powerful man in Egypt. And then after some generation, they were under the rule of Pharaoh. Because that time the Pharaoh was not existing, the title. After some few hundred years, the Pharaoh was the ruler. And then they started to do injustice, enslaving the people. Then Bani Israel was become enslaved. And then Prophet Musa was born, and he was supposed to be killed by the Pharaoh, but Allah protected him. And then he was in the street, the Prophet Musa. And then there was and he already know that he is from the Bani Israel because the mother was feeding him in the childhood. And mother already told you that Allah saved you, and she put him in the wooden box, and wooden box was arrived in the palace to the river Nile. And the wife of the Pharaoh, who was a believing woman, she took care of Musa alayhi salam, and she was like mother, and she was a believer. And Allah mentioned her in the Quran also about her, the wife of Pharaoh. Allah is going to give her a beautiful house in Jannah, in paradise. When the Musa alayhi salam was in the street, and he saw one Bani Israel from among the tribes of Israel was fighting with one Egyptian, the Pharaoh, the tribe of Pharaoh, the original Egyptian. And then he called Musa to help him. And Musa was like a prince. He was an engineer. He was building the buildings in Egypt that time. When the Bani Israel called, and they don't know, people don't know that he is from Bani Israel. He was grown up in the palace secretly. So when Bani Israel called him, the Prophet Musa, no, he is from my tribe. And then he go to help him. And the Egyptian soldiers were not leaving him. The Prophet Muhammad hit him in anger, and the soldier died. The Prophet Musa was very sad for this. It was not his intention to kill someone. It's a great sin. So he left. The next day in the same street, the same Bani Israel, he was fighting with another soldier, another Egyptian. And the Prophet Musa, he called to Prophet Musa. The Prophet Musa was not at that time prophet. He was just a engineer living in the palace of the Pharaoh. And that this same person is calling Musa to help me. And the Prophet Musa said, you are the evil maker. You are the evil. Yesterday you let me do wrong, and now you're calling me again. Now I have to give you a lesson. And he go to hit the Bani Israel, that person, and he exposed him. He said, Musa, you killed yesterday one Egyptian. Are you going to kill me now? And then the Egyptian, the soldier, he knew that who was killed, that soldier yesterday. So he go and report it to Pharaoh, that the person you're looking for, who's going to topple your government, that's Musa. He's not your adopted Bani from Bani Israel. And he killed your soldier yesterday. And that time, one of the ally of Prophet Musa, he came to him and he told to Musa, Prophet Musa, go away. The chiefs are planning to murder you. They are planning to death penalty for you. So he ran away. So now the Prophet Musa, he left his all luxury, left his family, and he ran away and he came to Madian. Madian is today in somewhere in Saudi Arabia. And there he found the two daughters of Prophet Shuaib. And they were waiting for the line because men should get water first. But in Islam, the women should be first. And they were not able to get water. And then Prophet Musa helped them to get water for themselves and for their animals. And the daughter said, let's go to our father. He might hire you. He is from the prince. Now he's going to work as a shepherd. Why? So he will be humble and he's going to be entitled to be a prophet. Because when you are a shepherd, you know how to gather your sheep. The same the prophet do. He gathered his people under one leadership, not to be scattered. So he went to the Prophet Shuaib, and the Prophet Shuaib tell him that if you take care of my sheep, I will give you a lot of sheep as a prophet, and one of my daughter I will marry you. And there was agreement of 8 to 10 years of taking care of the sheep of Prophet Shuaib. He was already blind, old man. And the Prophet Musa said, okay, I'm going to take care of your sheep. Because he cannot go back to Egypt because he will be killed. Because he was already murdered mistakenly. So he started to take care of the sheep, and then one of the daughter of Prophet Shuaib married to him. And now he has a many sheep and many and have children. And now he wanted to go back to Egypt. Maybe he thought people maybe forget him, maybe he can hide somewhere there. He wanted to go back to his family. And on the way back to Egypt, from Madian, there was a cold climate, and he found he wanted to get some fire for his family. And the fire was seen in the mountain, Kohetur, mountain of Tur. He went there to get fire. And Allah was speaking through that fire. Like a microphone, like here my cell phone. I can talk to I can call somebody in America and I can talk. And then he can hear it in his cell phone, my voice. So Allah make the way that the tree with the fire, and Allah was talking to Prophet Musa through that fire. Through that tree where there is a fire coming out, and which fire was attracting to Musa to look for the fire for his family for the cold weather. And the Prophet Musa was able to talk to Allah. And what Allah said to him? Inni an Allah. Surely I am Allah. And then now the Prophet Musa was astonished that I'm talking to my Lord who created me. He's talking to me directly. And then Allah asked to Prophet Musa, وَمَا تِلْكَ بِيَمِينِكَ يَا مُوسَى وَمَا تِلْكَ بِيَمِينِكَ يَا مُوسَى. Oh Musa, what is in your right hand? And he's holding the stick. And Allah said, throw it. When the Prophet Musa thrown the stick became a big snake, big dragon. And what Musa did? He ran away. So fearing is natural for the human being. But the courage is not that sense of fear. But the courage is doing your task despite of fear. You do it, what you are supposed to do. You do your duty, do the command of Allah, even though you are fearful. So Allah commanded to Prophet Musa, hold it. So Prophet Musa, even though he's afraid to go to that big snake, he do like this and it becomes a stick again. Why Allah give this kind of miracle to Prophet Musa? Because that time in Egypt is magician time. There are lots of false magicians. They show the magic to people to misguide them. So Allah gave him the 9 signs. 9. One of the signs, when he put his hand inside, when he bring out, it become like a moon. It's with the light. Among the 9 signs, these two signs are mentioned in the Quran. So he went to the Pharaoh and he invited Pharaoh and his people to worship one God. And the Pharaoh said, I'm the Lord Most High. Who God you are talking about? And he tell Haman to go make the stairs, make the lofty tower, and then look for his God. But God is not in our dimension. He's not needing geographical location because infinite, unlimited. God is not content in a location. When I was child, our maid in Pakistan, she told me when you go to Kaaba, you must go because inside the Kaaba, Allah is there. Subhanallah, Allah is not inside Kaaba. He's free from the time and space. He's infinite, unlimited. There is no limit for Allah. There is no direction for Allah. There is no locality for Allah. There is no time for Allah. It's not bound for time or space. It's unlimited. When you see this earth has an all direction in the sky. It's not in one direction in the sky. So this is the creation. Even though the universe is a huge, which we can see universe, it's 146 billion light years. It's huge. You cannot even imagine. We need 146 billion years to travel in the universe, one round only. But not the speed of the airplane or the jet fighter, 2,000 kilometers per hour. No, you need the speed of the light, 300,000 kilometers per second. And you need to travel in the universe for 146 billion light years, one circumference. Diameter is 93 billion light years. But circumference, because spherical universe, 146 billion light years. Yet the universe is limited, and all the universe in front of Allah is smaller than atom, because Allah is infinite. So Musa alayhi salam, they were rejected. He was rejected, and his brother was also Prophet Aaron together, because he asked Allah to make Aaron his assistant for making this dawah or inviting Pharaoh and his people to Allah. And two demands. First demand, you have to believe in Allah, only one God. And the second demand, let Bani Israel to go with me, because Bani Israel was zulm, oppressed, injustice with them. They were enslaved by Pharaoh. And he rejected, he said no. And the people advised him, his chief advised him, his ministers, they advised him, he's a magician. Because Prophet Musa, he throw the stick and it becomes a big snake. And the people in the palace of the Pharaoh were afraid. Even the Pharaoh is afraid. Until the Prophet Musa, he hold back the stick. And he put his hand inside and hand become like a light. And then his people said, his minister said, he's just showing a magic only. Call the magician. And you know how many magicians the Pharaoh called? And he make a big stadium. Big stadium. And thousands of people. And 12,000 magicians were in front of Musa. Only one person. One verse is 12,000 magicians. And then the Prophet Musa said, you throw first. When there was a competition. So the magician, they throw their sticks and their ropes. And they look like snakes, you know, thousands of snakes. And people were afraid. And Allah said to Prophet Musa, he revealed, don't fear. Throw this stick. When Prophet Musa is going to throw the stick, a real miracle, not magic. So the magician's magic was swallowed. The magician magic was swallowed by the miracle of Allah. All the magician magic was gone. Nothing anymore. Now the magician, they know, because that is their field. If you are a doctor, you know the medical. If you're an engineer, you know the engineering. You're a mechanical engineer, you know the mechanical engineering. You're a civil engineer, you know what is the building, because it is your field. Whatever your field, you know what is right. So Prophet, the magician, they know what Musa alayhi salam did is real. It's not magic. It's not it's real. So Prophet Musa alayhi salam, they believe that he's a prophet of Allah. He's not doing some magic. God is with him, and God is showing that miracle. That the stick of the Prophet Musa is become a real stick. So these magicians, the thousands of magicians, they fell down in prostration, sajda. They bow down. And they say, we believe the God of Musa. Thousands of magicians became Muslim. They bow down to Allah and they say, we believe in God of Musa, God of Harun. Allah, we believe in Allah. And now Pharaoh is very angry because he's insulted. He wanted to defeat Musa, and his own soldiers become Muslim. All the magicians become Muslim by seeing the miracle of Allah through Musa alayhi salam. So what the Pharaoh say? You are believing it without my permission? I'm going to slaughter you. I'm going to crucify you. I'm going to cut your arm and your feet on the opposite side. How dare you can believe in him? And now the magician say, do what you like. We know the truth from our Lord. We are not going to be. So he started to murder and cut their limbs on the opposite side, the arm and the leg. But they did not give up because they know the truth. They want to be die as a shaheed, martyr. They did not back out. And then the Bani Israel were, the Prophet Musa was warning to Pharaoh to let Bani Israel go. He was not allowing. And then they got many punishment like the frog and blood and locust. But they always say, okay, pray Allah to remove this punishment, we will follow you. But they always break their promise. Until the time when Prophet Musa was given the go signal that bring your people to Red Sea, and then he hit the stick. By the will of Allah, it becomes way in the sea. And he crossed the sea with Bani Israel, and the Pharaoh and his host, his troops, army, they followed, but Allah drowned them. And then finally the body of the Pharaoh found for many years after, and then its body in the Egypt now. And that miracle of Quran is fulfilled, that the body of Pharaoh, Allah said, I will keep him as a lesson. And that is the way. There was a doctor from France, Dr. Maurice Bukele. He found out that this Quran is truth because the body of the Pharaoh found a salt. So what the Quran said, he was drowned in the water, in the sea water, it becomes known as miracle to the people today in the world. And that Dr. Maurice Bukele from France, he wrote the book, very beautiful book, the Quran, the Bible, and the modern science. And he compared the Bible as a scientific mistake because it's changed by the people, but Quran has no scientific mistake. And it's perfectly with harmony with modern science. In fact, sometimes the Quran is correct and the science wrong. Like Quran was saying that the sun is rotating like other celestial bodies, but the science was not believing that. But now science believes that the sun has also speed, rotation on 100,000 kilometers per hour. And then when the Prophet Musa was passed through Red Sea, and then they have no food, so Allah sent the mano salwa from the sky. Manna is like mushroom, and the salwa is like a bird meat. And they were given the 12 fountains of water from the mountain. And wherever they go, the clouds go with them. Hammam. Wherever they go, the clouds is shadowing on them. In the desert, in the hot climate, the cloud was going toward. How Allah honored that generation. And when they were commanded, when Prophet Musa went to the mountain to get Torah, they started to worship the cow, the made of gold, made by the magician Samiri. And when Prophet Musa came, he burned that idol of cow, the butt, and throw the ashes in the water. And then somebody was given a punishment that he always say to the people, don't touch me, la misas. And then Bani Israel were commanded to kill each other for the punishment. And the thousands of Bani Israel killed each other because of the punishment of committing the idol worship. And they were forgiven, and now they were commanded to go back to Jerusalem, the Holy Land. And when they go there, they saw the mighty people, big Palestinian people there, and they say, you and your Lord go and fight, we will not go. And then Allah punished them, another punishment, 40 years in Sinai, desert Sinai, they were wandering 40 years. During that time, Prophet Musa was died at old age. And then after 40 years, they were able to enter when the Prophet Dawood, he killed the Goliath or Jalut, the mighty leader of Palestine, the Jerusalem. And then the Prophet Dawood, he established the Khilafah. It was the Khilafah of Prophet Dawood. And his son took over the Khilafah because he was also the Prophet. No monarchy in Islam that father throne will get taken by the son. No, that's not in Islam. That was the first implemented by Muawiyah. His son Yazid took over. And then he killed the Prophet's family because of his throne. And he attacked on Medina. He killed and raped, his soldier raped the woman in Medina. And they killed the Sahabi and Sahabiyat. and they attacked the Makkah, and they burned the Kaaba. And then Allah punished Yazid to kill him. And it becomes a bad word for the people of the whole world. We as a Muslim, we know that Yazid is a bad word for every Muslim. If somebody don't give water, you say he's Yazid. And then the Bani Israel entered with the leadership of Talut and Dawood, وَقَتَلَ دَاوُدَ Jalut. And the Prophet Dawood killed Jalut. He was a young boy, and he come to Talut. He said, I can kill this Goliath. Goliath is a big man in Jerusalem, Palestine, in the border. And then the Talut, the leader of the Bani Israel, said, how you kill? You are a small child. Go and take care of your sheep. And he said, no, let me give the chance. So the Prophet Dawood has a string, like the Palestinians doing today against Israel. A string, they put the stone, and they turn it like this, and they throw. And it's very powerful. It's like a more strong than bullet. That the stone is flying very high speed. So he go near to Jalut, and he put the string on the stone, and he run it very fast, and he throw it, and it's hit on the forehead of the Jalut, or Goliath. In the Bible, it's a Goliath. And he fell down. He did not die yet, of course, but he get unconscious because of the hit on the forehead, very powerfully, like dizzy. He feel like bit unconscious. He fell on the ground. So the Prophet Dawood, he was not prophet, he was a young child at that time. He ran and he get this sword and he behead the Goliath. And when the Goliath was killed, Jalut, then people are afraid that their leader was killed by a small boy, young boy. That was the power of a prophet, Dawood alayhi salam. And later he was given the miracle that his hand was melting the iron and he was making the armors. And that was his income. And that is very good knowledge here. All the prophets, they were of a profession. They were never getting money from the people. They were not salary basis prophets. How these scholars today, they make their salaries. That I am Imam, I am Hafiz, I am Qari, or I am Mufti. So pay us money. Subhanallah. Imam Ghazali Rahmatullah said, teach the scholars profession. Plumbing, whatever they can do, mechanic, or whatever you can do. Carpenter, or farmer, or shepherd. He said, teach the scholars profession. Because if they have no profession, they are very flexible. And if they give right fatwa, so that's why they are not giving right fatwa. They are under pressure because they get income from their bosses. So they will just make some compromise in their fatwas. So that's very important. All our scholar, even you are the imam of the masjid, or you are a scholar or a mufti, you should have a business. I think Mufti Meg is doing he's very popular in South Africa, and he's doing some business. I saw him packaging the cartoons. It's a good idea. It's a good example. And then the temple was built in Jerusalem by Prophet Suleiman, which they call Ekale Suleimani, Temple of Suleiman. And it was break because of their disobedience. They called it temple, we called it masjid. We call it Masjid al-Aqsa. And then now they wanted to bring back that temple again. And they wanted to knock down the Masjid al-Aqsa. Rather, they should be our Muslim brother and to worship with us in Masjid al-Aqsa. Because there is no difference. The Haikal Sulaimani was actually Masjid al-Aqsa, which was just renewed by the time of the Prophet Umar. And then after that, it was taken back again by the Salahuddin Ayyubi. And inshallah, it will be free again. If not now, at least when Imam Mahdi come and Isa alayhi salam will come, this Jerusalem will be taken again and will be under the Muslim again, inshallah. So what are the verses we were reading? Can I just go for the context about Israel? So I'll just go for the brief explanation of those verses we read today, the 6 verses. Actually 7. O children of Israel, remember my blessing which I blessed upon you, and fulfill my promise. I will fulfill my promise. Ufi bi'adikum, then I will fulfill your promise. My promise to worship only one God and not worship other gods, and follow the religion of Abraham, which we follow today, Muslim. But they changed the religion of Abraham into the tribal religion, which is called Judaism or Yahudism. They break the promise of Allah. They bloodshed and they expel people from their homes, which is against the commandments of Allah. وَإِيَّايَ فَارْهَبُونَ, and to only to me you should fear. وَآمِنُوا بِمَا أَنزَلْتُ مُصَدِّقًا لِمَا مَعَكُمْ وَلَا تَكُونُوا أَوَّلَ كَافِرٍ بِهِ. And believe, which is sent down, which is confirming the Quran, which is confirming, which is with you, the Torah. The Quran is confirming Torah. وَلَا تَكُونُوا أَوَّلَ كَافِرٍ بِهِ, and not be those who are first to be kafir with this Quran. Don't be disbelieving in this Quran. وَلَا تَشْتَرُوا بِآيَاتِي ثَمَنًا قَلِيلًا وَإِيَّايَ فَاتَّقُونِ, and don't sell the verses, my verses, with a small price, and only to me you should afraid. وَلَا تَلْبِسُوا الْحَقَّ بِالْبَاطِلِ وَتَكْتُمُوا الْحَقَّ وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ, and don't twist up the right with the false. Don't mix the right with the false. And do not hide the right. Do not hide the truth. وَأَنْتُمْ تَعْلَمُونَ, and you know the truth. The Prophet Muhammad is the Prophet of Allah. The Quran is the book of Allah. وَأَقِيمُوا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتُوا الزَّكَاةَ وَارْكَعُوا مَعَ الرَّاكِعِينَ, and establish the salah, the congregation, namaz, the salah, the prayer, and give the zakat, the obligatory charity. وَارْكَعُوا مَعَ الرَّاكِعِينَ, and bow down with those who bow down, means pray with congregation. In Jerusalem, in Masjid al-Aqsa, which they called it Haikal al-Sulayman. أَتَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابَ. Do you command people for the good and forget your own self? You say to people, like example, today people don't drink alcohol, but they drink alcohol. Don't smoke, but they smoke. These are the very bad attitude people. When you say something, you must implement on yourself. Don't be your attitude like a hypocrite or munafiq. You command people for the good and you forget your own self. وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابَ, and you are reading the book, the Torah. أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ, don't you make aqal? Don't you use your mind? وَاسْتَعِينُوا بِالصَّبْرِ وَالصَّلَاةِ, and take the help of Allah with sabr, with patience, and with salah, with namaz, with prayer. وَإِنَّا لَخَبِيرَةٌ عَلَى الْخَاشِعِينَ, and they are very mighty, except upon those who are khashi'un. They are fearing Allah. They are concentrating in their prayer. الَّذِينَ يَظُنُّونَ أَنَّهُمْ مُلَاقُو رَبِّهِمْ, they have a hope that they will meet with their Lord. Surely they will meet with their Lord. وَأَنَّهُمْ إِلَيْهِ رَاجِعُونَ, and they will all be returned to Allah, to their Lord. So that is 46. Tomorrow the verse 47 is again study this, Ya Bani Israel. So it will be very interested that how Allah blessed and how they were deviated from the right way, the command of Allah, and they were always punished. So it's an example for us. If we do the same way of Bani Israel, the Ummah of the Prophet Musa, then Allah will not change His Sunnah, and He will still punish us. And He is always punishing us, but we are very hard-headed. We are not taking heed. We saw lots of punishment. Just recently, Turkey, in 2005, a Pakistan earthquake, in tsunami in Indonesia, which reached until Malaysia, hurricane in America. And the worst of the punishment of Allah was the pandemic. 700 million people were infected. 7 million people died. And the worst of the pandemic effect was lockdown. Billions of people were jailed. Imagine, you come to your country, you go to the airport, your family cannot meet you. Your family cannot bring you home. You will be escorted to go to the quarantine center of government. But if you have money, you can look for the 5-star jail. Take the hotel 5-star and you will be jailed there for 14 days. You cannot meet your family. It's jailing. People were jailed for the punished by Allah. You feel the jail. You were jailed in your houses. People were depressed. People were suiciding, and the economy was destroyed. In pandemic, people were not lost billions of dollars. If you say billions of dollars, you are making joking only. You jeopardy. Trillions of dollar losses. Only China lost in trillions of dollars. How much more America? The worst effect was America. The New York or all the metros were demolished, finished. All the shop was bankrupt. People in America also were lining for the food. They were getting charity food. That is a punishment of Allah. People were very great punishment inflicted. And how much more the punishment as being a Muslim? Our masajid were closed. Makkah closed, Medina closed. Masjid in everywhere in the Muslim world were closed. Our Masjid Al Granada was never closed. We never closed it. We make it a charity center. We put volunteers there. We were distributing rice to the people. And we said, these are the volunteers. They should live here. So our people were, I was going there, making Jummah khutbah. Alhamdulillah. Allah, I'm happy that Allah was not angry with us. So He did not close His house for us. He leave it up in His house for us. And we were going there. We were going there and performing the Jummah there and prayer there. And we were doing some charity work from the masjid. We fill the masjid with the rice. And our volunteers were going around different places to giving away the rice. Because people have no food. People were dying with hunger. The bankrupts. Billions of people bankrupts in America, in Europe, in Asia, in Africa. People were getting bankrupt. So punishment can still come. We have to change our attitude. And not just to stop doing evil, stop people to do evil. That's the way you can stop the punishment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I'm ending now. And now I can take the questions. So my son asked me why I look like Jesus. Oh, alhamdulillah, if I look like Jesus, it's my honor. If somebody tell me I look like a actor or celebrity, it's nothing for me. No value. Zero value. If somebody tell me I look like Prophet Jesus or any prophet, it's an honor for us. Because these are our models. We need to be imitate the prophets. And the wives of the prophets or mothers of the prophet, like mother of Prophet Jesus, our women should copy them. Like when sometimes women covering and then people are in non-Muslim country, they ask women, why you're covering? Then they can say, I'm imitating Mary, the mother of Jesus. I'm making, our women can tell to the non-Muslims that we are copying Mary because Mary was covering herself. She was not going with short and she was not going without hijab. Mary was wearing long dress and she covered herself with the hijab. So the woman can say we follow the Mary. So that is honor for us that we follow. Yes.
So I said, why is also to prophet consult his brain?
No, it's not. You're not right because Allah said, "Walikulli ajalin kitab." Allah sent the book in every time. Walikulli qawmin had. Allah says, "Walikulli qawmin had." Allah sent to every nation hadi, means who can guide them. Prophet come to every qawm. So it's not right that there is prophet only. Many prophets come in Bani Israel, but not most, many. So every nation have a prophet. Africa have lots of prophets. Asia have a prophets. Even the Hindu books, you can find out about Prophet Muhammad and about oneness of God. So it means that they have a prophets before, but they changed their religion into idol worship religion. Okay? Yes. Who is the God of Jews or Yahudi? Same God. The Jews have the same God, the God Almighty, Allah. But the religion is not the religion of God anymore. Why? Because the religion is a Judaism. They shut down the doors of the religion. You cannot become a Jew. It's a personal religion now. It's a tribal religion. Your mother, father should be Jew, then you can become a Jewish. You cannot change to Jewish. If anybody is interested to become a Jew, I want to be Jew. No, get out from here. You cannot be Jew. You should have a bloody Jew. You can be only a bloody Jew. Bloody Jew means you should have a blood of a Jew. If you have no blood of Jew, get lost. You cannot become a Jew unless your father, mother is a Jewish origin. Then you can become a Jew. So they make a Jew, Judaism, it's a tribal religion. You know, the Reader's Digest, there is a research from 1934 until 1984, the growth of the religions. And then the number one religion growth was Islam, with 235% in 50 years. From 1934 to 1984, according to Reader's Digest, Islam growth was 235% in 50 years. It's a big growth. The number two religion was in that list was Christianity. All the denomination, Catholic, Protestant, Methodist, etc., all combined together, only 49%. The Islam was in 50 years, 235%, 5 times high. And the two religion was declining in that list, Judaism and Hinduism. Why? Because Hinduism, you cannot convert people to Hindu. And Judaism, you cannot people convert to Yahudi. So that's why they are in decline, because of they have no conversion. So Jews have a same God with our God, but they changed their religion, no longer the religion of God. Okay, but I'll answer this in your question. What is the real father name of Abraham? Okay, so that's my very important question for me because I researched about it. The Quran mentioned the uncle of Prophet Muhammad, Abu Lahab. The father name is not in the Quran. And his adopted son Zayd is in the Quran, Zayd. The Prophet Adam, the Prophet Jesus' mother name is mentioned in the Quran, Mary, Maryam. And one of the relative of the Prophet name is mentioned in the Quran, is called, when Ibrahim said to his father, Azar. Azar. So the name of the father mentioned in the Quran is Azar. But according to the Tafsir Ibn Kathir, he gives some reference to Ibn Abbas that the father name of Ibrahim was not Azar, but he mentioned different name, Tira. I forgot the name is mentioned in Tafsir Ibn Kathir. For me, I will not accept it because I read in the Quran when Ibrahim said to his father Azar. So yung pangalan ng tatay ni Ibrahim, Ustad Umar, I'm talking with you through this online. Yung tanong mo, ano pangalan ni tatay ni Abraham? Pangalan ng tatay ni Abraham is Azar. Pangalan niya Azar. Okay? Hindi yung sunod kay Tafsir Ibn Kathir na ibang pangalan. Pangalan ng tatay ni Abraham is, Prophet Ibrahim is Azar, nasa Quran. So in the Quran, the name of the father of Prophet Ibrahim is Azar, and that's we follow. Okay. Yes, Bena.
Azar equal
Okay, it's a very good question of Hassan. The Nimrud, the king in the time of Prophet Ibrahim in Babylon, in Babel, his name was Nimrud. And he was buying the idols from the father of Ibrahim. And then I was watching the movie, and the Prophet Ibrahim's father was forcing Prophet Ibrahim when he was a child to sell the idols in the market. And then the Prophet Ibrahim was forced to sell the idols. So he go to the market and he tells the people, buy these guys, they are useless. They cannot help you. They don't own your good and they don't own your harm. They cannot do any harm for you. They cannot do any good for you. Buy this. And people say, what he's talking about? He's insulting our God. He's telling these gods are useless. And then finally the father said to Ibrahim, don't sell because you're destroying my business. Because you're telling people these are the false gods. They are useless gods. And then Nimrod was very special to the father of Ibrahim because he was selling the gods to Nimrod. And then the Nimrod was debating with Prophet Ibrahim that who is your God? And Prophet Ibrahim said he will give the life and death. And then what Nimrod did, he get one prisoner and he killed him. And the other prisoner, he freed him. So he died too arrogant that I can control life and death. But actually it's not. Can he alive dead again? No, he cannot alive the dead again. So, and if this prisoner can run away, can he get him back? No. Even the fly you cannot kill. Fly take a DNA from you, run away with your tissue, and you cannot get the back from the fly. That's how weak a human being are. And then the Prophet Ibrahim did not debate with him. He said, my son, bring out the sun from the Mashriq, east. Can you bring out the sun from the west, from the Maghrib? Faboid alladhi kafar. He was answerless, the Nimrud. And then finally he was denying. Then Allah entered a mosquito or an insect in his brain from the air is a miracle. And he led people to beat him with the slippers. And before he was telling people to bow down to him. He was calling people, I'm your God. And then finally he was letting people to hit with their shoes and he was died with that humility. Another question here, Yahwism is a religion of Hebrew. Judaism is a recent invention named via mistranslation 100 years. So I think he's commenting, is not the question. Yahwism is religion of the Hebrew. Judaism is a recent invention, name via mistranslation hundreds of years ago. This is from Dawood Diego, who's a very fast questioner. I have no knowledge about Yahwehism, but Yahweh is a name in Bible about God, Yahweh. And also there is another name, Yahovah, O-U, He, Yahovah. Like Hova is in the Quran, Kul Huwa Allahu Ahad. So Yahovah is a name used for the God by some Jewish people and some Christian religion like Jehovah Witness. And Yahweh is also somewhere similar. Like there is a name of in the Bible Elohim. It is similar to our word Allahumma or Ilah. We call Ilah also La ilaha illallah. So there are names in the Bible in the manuscript. The name Allah is very clearly mentioned. But when they translate into other language, they make it God. Or like in Tagalog Jews. Now another question here: is the birth control pill haram or halal? It's a question here. Yes, but after this, birth control pills are haram or halal? Of course, the controlling birth pills are dangerous because you don't know you're taking birth pill and you might get pregnant and your child will born with mutation, with problem with hand or disabled, brain problem, so many side effects of the birth pill. And why you need to control the birth pill? Do you believe that if more children you cannot feed them? No. Allah said, don't kill your children with fear. We feed you and we feed them. You are not the one feed your children. Allah feed your children. So that is a very bad theory. Less population for good economy, it's wrong. The fastest growing economy in the world today is China. And China is the highest population, 1.5 billion population. For many years and even now, the second fastest economic growth is India. And India is a number 2 population. So population is not destroying the economy. It's actually growing in America, in Australia. They are giving the bounty now. More children, more tax-free. A government give the subsidy to the people with the more children. And very good saying of a Chinese scholar: every child born with one mouth but with 2 hands. So these hands will work for his own food and the food of the other. The problem is useless population is very bad. But with population more and working population, it's never a curse. Even less population, no working is curse also. So useless people sitting down the street, smoking and looking the girls, nothing. You have to beat them. Go and work. Or the scholars sitting down and just eating, getting big stomach, and let people to fight. Let the scholar to work. Let ustad to work. Let imam to work. Let mufti to work. Because people working is busy people. The free mind is a devil's factory. Free mind or the free person is a devil's factory. So let people to work. And my answer is avoid the birth control pills. Prophet Musa said, when you see the evil, stop with your hand. وَإِلَّمْ يَسْتَطِعْ. If you have no power to do so, then stop with your words. وَإِلَّمْ يَسْتَطِعْ وَبِقَلْبِهِ. Then you stop with your heart. Feel in your heart it is wrong. Angry in your heart. And pray, Allah give me power to stop the evil. For example, you see somebody in your community drinking alcohol. You cannot stop with them because they might meet you. They might beat you. If you stop it, you get the battle, they'll book to you. They'll beat you. So you avoid to stop with the hands. And they are drunk and you say something to them, don't think it's haram. They might still come after you and they will make trouble for you. They might take the battle and follow you with the to kill you because they are drunk now. So you avoid to also stop them with you. But you curse in the heart that it is wrong. But most of the time, use your word to stop people from evil. And that is our protection to save us from the punishment of Allah when Allah inflict the punishment on the people. Man is always emotional. Man is always emotional. Even the name of man is insan. Insan is one have own space. He like to love. He like to be a companion. He don't like to be alone. When Prophet Adam was born, was created, and he was living in Jannah, in paradise, alone, he was still lonely, sad, not very happy. But when Allah out his wife from his rib and make his companion, now Prophet Adam was very happy in paradise, in Jannah, because he get the companionship. So people, the human being is always been motion, love, kindness, junoon also. A person is junoon, passionate. These are all the emotions Allah give them, and they are many of the emotions are blessings. Ramses II body bring to France for studies long time ago. Scientists say he died either tooth infection or heart attack, and Ramses IV died from smallpox. What's your reaction? So this Dawood is always making question very complicated. Now, what I will do with Ramses II and Ramses IV? Where I get this knowledge about this Ramses? What is very benefit me? Will Allah ask me about genealogy of all the Pharaoh? I only know one Pharaoh, the time of the Prophet Musa. He was, I think, Ramses V. Ramses V was the Pharaoh V. And he was drowned in the water, and his body was found as promised by Allah in the Quran. It is a miracle of the Quran. It's a miracle from Allah. Now Dawood, we want me to research about Ramses II, died with the tooth infection. And why don't you bring him to the dentist? Look at his body somewhere. Bring to the dentist to the Ramses II. And Ramses IV, Dawood said from Masjid al-Grande, Ramses IV died from smallpox. So there was no vaccine that time. Now you have a vaccine. Go to and look for the body of the Ramses IV and inject him with a smallpox vaccine. So I don't think so we need to waste time with this kind of questions. Mr. Dawood, you are listening me in this online. Please look for the productive questions which can give us some benefit, and not question like this which is no use for us. The only answer you love for Allah is selfless. So if person you love for Allah, this love will be successful. And people who don't love you, then you still love them for the sake of Allah, then you still get the love of Allah for this. Okay, this is now the last question here. Is true the Hafiz can intercede for the 10 of his relatives? Mother side, father side, whatever is mentioned this question here. And this question from our cameraman in Masjid Al Grande, the Noor. His name is Noor Lahabba. I said, your name is like Abu Lahab, family name Lahabba. So he's, I don't know how they get this name Lahabba. It is like similar to Abu Lahab. Was a disbeliever, the uncle of Prophet Muhammad. And he's asking that the Hafiz the Quran, who memorized the Quran, can intercede for the 10 of his relatives. The Shifat is a dua only. Shifat has become a very big issue. People are making too much, extremely. Shifa is not guarantee at all. Shifa is like, do Allah forgive this? And if Allah want, Allah will do. If Allah doesn't want, Allah will not. Like Prophet Muhammad is can shifa, he can pray for us on the day of judgment. But the Prophet said to his daughters, do something for you, I cannot do for you anything on the day of judgment. He tells to his aunties, do something, I cannot do anything for you on the day of judgment. So shifat is no guarantee. Shifat is the day of judgment, the dua. The prophets, the people, the parents, the children, make dua. Allah save my father, Allah save my mother. Prophets can say, Allah save my ummah. No guarantee. What is guarantee? Obey Allah, fear Allah, don't do haram. Then you have a good hope, inshallah, to save you from the hellfire. The prophets can make dua. And we hope that most of the prophets' dua will be accepted, but there is no guarantee. So may Allah guide us.